Today, we're going to be taking a look at how to use the in operator within SQL through a few different examples, one being a string, one also being an integer, and one being a subquery. On top of that, I'm going to also show you how to use not in, which is the opposite of in, so that way you can add them to your queries. I'm going to jump on my computer and let's start learning. So the table we're going to be taking a look at in this example is Billy Strings Tour. And Billy Strings is one of my favorite artists. So down below, we have a concert number, the venue, city, state, capacity, tickets sold, and also songs played. But for this first example, we're going to be taking a look at a few different cities. So just a very basic in statement. Let's say we want to show Tampa, we want to show Cleveland, and then Saint Augustine. Okay, so let's write out this query, and we just want to show all the information. So we're just going to do a blank select star. So let's do a select star from Billy Strings Tour, which I guess I could have just copied this from above. And then we're going to go into our where statement. So we're going to put where, and we're going to put city like this. And then you're going to put the keyword in, and then you're going to open this up and you're going to put in a few different strings. So we're going to grab all these over here and throw this in over there. Now, you're going to want to have single quotes around each of these. So Tampa, Cleveland, and St. Augustine. Okay. And that's pretty much it. So specifically, we're taking a look at the city. We're saying it's in and has to be one of these three over here. So if we run this specifically, you can see that the three concerts showed up: the Saint Augustine Amphitheater, Yuengling Center, and KeyBank State Theater, Cleveland, Tampa, and St. Augustine. Now, the other way you would be writing this without an in statement is like this. So we would have to have city equals Tampa. And I'm just going to put city down here like this and comment it out. And then you would have or, and I'm just going to copy this over here and copy this again. And you can really start seeing why you'd want to use the in, because this is kind of tedious. So I have to write here city equals for each of these three cities. So Tampa, Cleveland, and St. Augustine. If we run this over here, you see the same exact result shows up. But what would you rather write more efficiently? City in or city equals this or this or this? And it can get really confusing, especially if you're going to be taking a look at, let's say, 5 or 10 cities in a tour in this example. Or if you're going to take a look at employees, do you want to put a bunch of employees over here in an in statement, or do you want to have like employee equals, let's say, Ryan, employee equals Nolan, employee equals, and just keep on adding into all of these into the where. So I would prefer to have in. So the same thing could be applied with integers as well, and I'll show you how that specifically works. If we go back to this Billy Strings Tour, you can see that concert number 1, 2, and 10 is these three cities. So we're going to be taking a look at those. So 1, 2, and 10. I'm going to comment this out, and instead, this time we're going to take a look at concert num. So just like before, we have where concert num in, and then all you have to do is put the integers. So we have 1, 2, and 10. You can close that out. And same exact results as expected. And again, if you want to change these up, let's say we want to have 5 and 11. Instead, you can see now we have Mississippi and then Huber Heights, I think that's how you pronounce it, show up instead. So being able to apply the in statement to both is pretty powerful. But what also you can do is not in. So let's just copy this example over here. And, let's say we have not in. So put that over here. And what you'll see is it shows everything else. So it negates that statement. We're showed all these concerts that aren't 1, 2, or 10. And you can do the same thing with the cities. So if I drop this down and comment it out, put this here and put not in and run it, again, you can see the same exact result show up. So being able to apply both of these in your queries is powerful. And let's go over a subquery example. Now, I will say there is a lot more efficient ways to write this code that I'm about to do, but this is a good example of how you could technically use an in statement with a subquery. So I have another table over here called Billy Strings Posters. And over here, this concert lines up with the concert number on the other one. So for this example, I just want to show specifically concerts that have a poster available. So what I can do is copy this, right? Select star from Billy Strings Tour, where concert num in, and now we're going to write our subquery. So subquery wise, all I want to do is select the concert from Billy Strings posters. So what specifically is happening is we're selecting these concerts, which is going to be 1, 12, 14, 2, and 23. And we're taking a look at this original concert number. If you remember, the concert number over here, that first column, has to line up with the concert in this table. So watch what happens. We have only 2 that show up, 1 and 2. So Saint Augustine Amphitheater and Yingling Center. And if we go to the posters, you can see concert 1, right? Poster name, and concert 2. And that's the famous fort in Saint Augustine. And then obviously beaches over here. But we did not have an Orlando concert that showed up in this Billy Strings tour. We did not have one in Hollywood, and we did not have one in Seattle. So you can see 12, 14, and 23. And this ends at 11. And if you wanted to do the opposite, show the tour dates that had no poster, again, we could just use not in, which I showed you guys a little bit earlier. So by using a not in, you can see 1 and 2 is now filtered out, but the rest shows. Hope this video was helpful. If it was, make sure to subscribe to the channel, as it does help it grow. By the way, you should check out my beginner SQL course right over here. It's 1 hour long, but provides a ton of valuable information. And I promise you're going to learn a few things in there.